am I nervous? I haven't done this in a minute. Okay, it's fine. Do you like the hat? Season 3 had to step it up. Got this hat. Shout out Carrie. And peep the mug up there that I got for Easter. What up? Let's rock and roll. So good. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, or welcome to the Pickle Jar. This is season 3 of What's the Dill. I'm your host, Mackenzie Pickle. It is good to be back, y'all. Season 3. What's up? This is great. Also, really quick, I just want to apologize. I'm sorry for pushing back the premiere of season 3. Life got a little crazy, a little chaotic, but I'm so glad to be hanging out with you today. It has been a crazy time since we last spoke. Had a great Easter weekend. It was a couple weeks ago. He is risen. It's so awesome. I love celebrating Easter and Good Friday just because it's a great reminder that Jesus is risen. But we get to celebrate that every single day. How awesome to serve a savior who defeated death, hell, and the grave. Hello? Hello? It's awesome. I did get to help film our Good Friday service at my church. That was so awesome. We did this big worship circle. It was so moving and so powerful and such a good way to spend the day. It was a blast. I did my annual Easter egg hunt with my family. We sort of have made it this competition where we'll hide eggs and compete to see who can find them the fastest. It's pretty intense stuff. It gets very, very gnarly very quickly. Also, I recently auditioned for my community theater's summer musical, The Little Mermaid. That's what we're doing this summer. And not only was I cast, but I got cast as Ariel! Oh my gosh. Y'all, I am so excited. This is a dream come true for me. I've always loved musicals. I've always loved acting and performing. It's such a fun outlet for me. I have always danced, performed, sung, done anything, that. I love being creative. This is my first ever lead role, ever. So I'm just really, really thankful for the opportunity. I'm so excited for the show. I'm just so pumped. I grew up watching The Little Mermaid. Ariel was my favorite Disney princess. So it's just, I don't know, it's kind of a cool full circle moment, I guess. I sort of get to make my inner child happy, living out a dream of being Ariel, being a mermaid. And I'm just so happy to be able to perform with such an amazing cast. Everyone is so talented, and I'm so humbled. It is so incredible, and I am so thankful for the opportunity. Last update for y'all. I teased this in season 2. During the break for my birthday, I went on a trip with my grandma to London, and this was my first time flying out of the country, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. It was so cool, so fun. Womack and I, we saw the sights, we ate some awesome food, we got to see some plays, we had afternoon tea on my actual birthday, which was wonderful. I felt so fancy. I met so many cool people, including the one and only Tom Hiddleston. Y'all, shut up, did I just say that? I met Tom Hiddleston. That's real. This is real life. Batten down the hatches, I met Tom Hiddleston. If you know me, you know that Tom Hiddleston is one of my absolute favorite actors ever. One of my biggest celebrity crushes. I just love him. I think he is so talented, and it's just, I literally don't have words. So basically, we went and we saw Much Ado About Nothing, which he was in, along with Hayley Atwell. By the way, hello. Met her too. She's incredible, which I already knew that, but she's just, love her. It was phenomenal. The entire cast was phenomenal. The whole show was just truly unreal, and I love theater. I'm so glad that I got to experience that. But we saw the show on closing night, so it was really jam-packed. It was so good. Just an insane experience because fun fact, so where we sat, we had really close seats because I was this is once in a lifetime. You know what I mean? Saved up for that. Got pretty close seats. I was literally exactly 2 rows behind Zalway. Yeah. Tom Hiddleston's wife. Exactly, she was the same seat as me, 2 seats in front of me. I saw her and was I gasped. I didn't have the courage to go up to her because I didn't want to interrupt her. She's there to see her man. I'm there to see her man. I don't know. She is so beautiful, and she just had this brightness about her, and it was just awesome to be in the same vicinity as her. And speaking of being in the same vicinity as a celebrity, in the row in front of me, not right in front of me, but adjacent to me, Keanu Reeves was there, just sitting watching the play. I was hello? John Wick, what are you doing here? I don't know how I got to be in this area, but I'm forever grateful for it because that was awesome. Did I have the courage to speak to him either? No. So anyways, after the show, I went to stage door, and shout out Venetia, my new friend. You're awesome for standing with me in that long line. You helped me get through it. You are just incredible. So Hayley Atwell came out and she signed my program, which is right up there, by the way. It's pink. I don't know if you can see it in the shot, but Tom Hiddleston's signature's on the top, which we'll get to that in a second, but Hayley Atwell's is on the bottom. She was so sweet, and it was actually her birthday, so we all like sung her happy birthday, and she was like, oh, like, y'all are so sweet. Like, she was just so precious, and it was really cool to get to meet her. She didn't stay out for very long, but she did get to me. I was not like super far down, but I was not close to the door, so we were kind of worried, like me and everyone around me were kind of worried that they wouldn't get to us because we were pretty far down, but I had hope, and I was also praying. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was praying, and I was like, Lord, please. Tom Hiddleston came out. My dream moment. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I was literally like, please get close to me. Get close. Like, please. He did get to me. Y'all, when he got to me, I was like, I genuinely blacked out, but fortunately I went into overdrive and I started speaking anyways. We actually had a pretty long conversation considering like the amount of time that he was outside. We talked for a good bit. I told him I was a big fan, and I told him where I was from, that I came from the US, and we talked about the US a little bit, and I told him, like what state I'm from, and he was like, oh, I've been to this part of the state, and I was like, yeah, well, that's actually like this far from me, and he was like, yeah, the country's pretty big, and I was like, yeah, you're so right. And y'all, he told me happy birthday! He told me happy birthday. Tom Hiddleston told me happy birthday. Tom Hiddleston told me happy birthday. I lost it. Dream come true. Literally, like, hello. And like I said, he signed my program. I got it all on video. We weren't allowed to take like photos, like selfies with everybody just because they don't have that much time. Thanks to my new friends, Cecilia and Lula. They were in the line with me and they took videos for me of me meeting Tom Hiddleston. So thankful to y'all. Thank you. And I'm glad that I met y'all, and we got some photos together too. It was so fun. I watched the video so much. It is such a highlight, and I cry when I think about it. I was crying then. I was shaking also. It was awesome. I met Tom Hiddleston. What? Oh my gosh. It's so crazy. The rest of the trip was a blast too. Like, that was just a small portion of it. Like I said, we saw all the sites. Like, we went to Big Ben and Buckingham Palace, and we wandered around some too. Just sort of went where we felt like going. We tried all sorts of different food. We sort of left the last day to be just like a free day, so give ourselves a little bit of a break and be like a little more leisurely explorers. And the last night, I noticed that Jonathan Bailey was performing in Richard II, which I love Shakespeare. So I was like, oh, interesting. And I love Jonathan Bailey. So last minute, we got these tickets, like quite literally an hour before the show. And it was at the Bridge Theater, which is right beside Tower Bridge, which was beautiful. We ate at a restaurant right around there and had the view of it. It was gorgeous. Our seats were super close for this as well. So the Bridge Theater is like in the round. So there's seats like quite literally all around the stage. And in the round, actors and actresses, oftentimes, I guess it doesn't happen every time, but most of the time, their entrances are in the aisles of the seats as well. So they like kind of walk through. It's like you're really immersed in the world of the play. And our seats were on like the edge of this aisle, but nobody was like in front of us. Like, we had a clear line to the stage, and they informed me that they weren't doing stage door, because I'd asked, I was like, where's the stage door? And they were like, oh, it's around here, but just so you know, we had to stop doing stage door because there was a noise complaint, because it's like a residential area around there. And I was like, boo, that's no fun, but totally understand. And I was like, oh, thanks for letting me know. Like, great that I wouldn't have just stood out there for nothing. So I was a little bit bummed out that I wasn't gonna get to be like face to face with Jonathan Bailey. However, during the play, I turn and I look, and it's me, Molmac, and then the aisle. Like, we're close to this aisle. I turn and I look, and Mr. Jonathan Bailey himself is standing right there in the aisle, like waiting for his cue. I was like quite literally an arm's distance from this man. I started freaking out, shaking, like silently. Like, I was like, oh my God, Jonathan Bailey. Obviously, I didn't interrupt him. I didn't do anything because, like, he is in actor zone. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I was just, like, silently freaking out. Like, holy cow. Happened twice, by the way. Crazy. It was awesome. He was so good. He played King Richard. He was so good, which I knew he was good, but it just, like, it was not Jonathan Bailey on that stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was that immersed in the character. It was just so good. And the whole cast was so good. And, I just had such a good time. Y'all, it was just such an amazing trip. So many good memories. And I will forever be grateful that I got to go experience that with my grandma. Truly the best experience ever. Now, we do have a movie to review, y'all. I'm not just here to yap about my life, although I did want to give you an update. Wait, sorry, one more update. All you who only listen to the audio, this doesn't really affect you very much, but anyone watching on the YouTube, I'm filming this on my brand new camera. I bought a camera, like an actual camera. See, normally I would film on my phone, like for the video version of this. Season 1 and Season 2 are filmed on my phone, but I have my phone right here. I'm filming on an actual camera. I got to save up for it, and I got a really good deal. It's a used camera, and it is awesome, and we'll see how it turns out. This is the first time I'm using it, so buckle in, I guess. Just popping in really quick while I edit this. My camera died. Spoiler alert later in the video, so buckle in indeed. Let me know what you think, if you like it. Today, we are reviewing one movie that I have been super excited about, the new Marvel movie, Thunderbolts. Oh, y'all, I'm so happy. I literally just saw this. Let's just dive right in. So, Thunderbolts is the latest release from Marvel, like I said, and it came out May 2nd, 2025. That was the, official date. It was directed by Jake Schreier. Jake, I'm sorry if that's not how you pronounce it. But it stars Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, David Harbour, Hannah John Kamen, and Wyatt Russell, as well as many more. There are way more names in this, Lewis Pullman, all that. I'm not getting into all the names, okay? Because there are so many people in this. But before we go any further, spoilers are ahead. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, go watch the movie and then come back and watch this and we can discuss. First, I want to talk about the soundtrack. I'm going to give the soundtrack a 7 out of 10. It fit the vibes of the movie. It was really good. It's not like anything was wrong with it. It didn't blow me away. I wasn't like, this is perfect. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it fit the vibes of the movie. It helped carry the emotion of the scene. It was just really good. There wasn't ever a part where I was like, oh, this is not good. Very good soundtrack. Just good. That's all I have to say, really. Plot, 10 out of 10 for me. Great story. It was easy to follow, but also very impactful. The villain in this, and I'm going to use villain lightly, quotation marks. The Void sort of takes over Bob's character. The whole thing really touches on mental health, and I think it's so incredible that they spun this into mental health awareness and sort of not to be cheesy, but the power of friendship, you know what I mean? And I think it's really important to have that as a storyline in a movie, especially a movie this big. And it was just very wonderfully done. And I think they did a good job of not putting blame on Bob, but instead on the darkness that Bob was feeling and on how he could get over that. It wasn't like Bob is the bad guy. They were like, we need to help Bob stop doing this. That was what was incredible to me. Nobody was blaming Bob for being terrible or anything. Yelena figured out what was going on, and then they were like, okay, we have to help him. We're not trying to beat him or destroy him, whatever. We need to help him, and we can all do this together. I really liked the plot, and I think that it flowed pretty well. I wasn't really ever taken out of the movie. Wasn't too fast, wasn't too slow or anything for me. I really liked the build-up. Next, we're going to talk about characters. And for characters as a whole, I have a 9 out of 10. I love these characters. Number one, we have to talk about Taskmaster. Taskmaster is a very, I would say, controversial topic in the Marvel fandom, just simply because when Black Widow came out, I remember a lot of people being like, Taskmaster was done so poorly, blah blah blah, all this stuff. I personally disagree with that. Am I a huge reader of the comics? No. So I want to specify that beforehand. However, I enjoyed the Black Widow movie in general. I think it was good. Is the CGI in some spots not good? Absolutely. I think it's rushed in some areas, and I think it's ineffective. However, to me, the characters and the plotline are very good. I really enjoyed it, and I was plugged into that. It's a good introduction for Yelena. It's a great backstory for Natasha, and I like Alexei, and I liked Taskmaster. I thought Taskmaster was interesting. Now, do I think there should have been more of Taskmaster? Yes, absolutely. I think they could have done more with the character, but I don't think that Taskmaster was nerfed, for lack of a better word, However, Taskmaster is killed in the first 10 minutes, maybe not even 10 minutes of this movie. What do you mean? I was so excited to maybe get more, and then I literally sat there with my jaw dropped on the floor. Just holy cow. Especially when we got to see her face again, the little I was like, oh, we're about to get some backstory. We about to get some, like, this is going to be good. We're going to get into her character. Boom, dead, gone. I do appreciate Yelena mourning her and grieving over her and, like, defending her and being like, she just died. Like, you know, she had a terrible life, you know, talking to them about that. I do appreciate that. However, that really just grabbed me and just shook me within the first few minutes of the movie. I was just, wow. Wasn't expecting that at all. Also, Yelena always eats. Florence Pugh, you are so incredible and you carried. Like, you are just so talented, and she really does go into every role and give her all. She is such a perfect Yelena, and I am so in awe of her ability to just dive so deep into these characters that she plays. And I don't know, she makes me so emotional. I love her, and I really do. I feel like she just embodies like that spirit of Natasha, like their family. Like, she really does feel like Natasha's sister, and I feel like I can sense like a little piece of Natasha in her, and it just like, it brings me to tears. I love her. Alexei, stop. He's so funny. David Harbour, you are iconic. You are so funny. Like, his delivery and just his whole character is so funny. When Yelena goes into the void and Alexei's like distraught, y'all, I crying with him. First of all, I was like, hello, what is happening? And shout out really quick to both Florence and David for your accents, because so believable and so consistent. Like, y'all really did your homework, and I'm very thankful that you're taking this seriously, because it is serious. Now, Bucky. James Buchanan Barnes, I love you. I love you so much. Bucky, my love! Oh! I gasped when I saw him. This movie gave me exactly what I needed. Every scene with Bucky in it, I was like, I was sat, I was there, I was gasping. I was like, oh my God, Bucky. He is just everything. He's so good. And he had some banger lines too. Like, he was really eating up the U.S. government in there. Like, there's this one moment where when he was a congressman, they were like, well, the system, like, you just have to let the system work. And he was like, oh, the system that takes a recess every day at 4 p.m. Clocked. Got him. Got them. But then, like, he isn't a congressman anymore. I think they could have maybe explained it a tiny bit more. Like, the only thing we have is, like, him on that motorcycle, which, praise. Hello. Thank you for the motorcycle scene. That was an awesome entrance. Valentina just makes a little short comment and is like, only lasted like half a term, whatever. But so you're kind of like, was he fired? Did he step down? Like, what happened? I looked it up after, and it's like assumed that he just stepped down, like he didn't want to do it anymore, which makes sense. However, I do wish that they would have maybe like just like thrown that in a little bit more, because I was a little confused of like, why was he just a congressman and now he's not, you know? But that's neither here nor there. That's just a nitpicky detail. Sebastian Stan, you're beautiful. Love you so much. Bob. I love the character of Bob. I think that this was such a good introduction for Bob for Sentry. So dang good. I love him. He has a good entrance. I love his bond with Yelena. Their friendship is everything. I love them being friends. It's kind of giving Clint and Nat, just only slightly, okay? But like that type of platonic like friendship, I love that. And I love that Yelena looks out for him like that. And also Bob, when he's like, where's Yelena? Hello? King. I love you so much, Bob. You genuinely, I started out being like, oh, that's just Bob, like whatever, like kind of laughing, whatever. And then I really grew to love his character. I think that they just did a really good job writing him in, and I loved this story for him. Ghost, we got to talk about Ghost. Ghost is cool. I like her attitude. I think she's sick. I think she's cool. There wasn't like a lot of her. She was there to help the team, and she had some really sick scenes. And also, y'all, they're editing with her like powers and stuff, so good. It's gotten so good. I've always liked Ghost. I've always liked her. I wish they would have given her maybe a little bit more. She did have that really like snarky kind of attitude, which I thought was good for her character. Like, I liked her little comments that she'd make. I wish they would have given her a little bit more to do. However, I do like this character, and I'm excited to see more of her. Valentina, always such a good villain. She just ticks you off so much. Like, and she's so just cunning and so intelligent in her ways. And I will say, I did like that we got to see a little flashback of her and like of her childhood, because it kind of does make you like sympathize for her only slightly. And then she does something that you're like, okay, girl, I can't keep defending you. She's such a good villain because she's so conniving. And I also love how she pivoted at the end. I called it. I literally knew that as soon as the Void took over Sentry and started doing all that stuff, and the Thunderbolts were receiving praise, I knew she was gonna spin it in some way to be like, this is all me, I did this, blah, 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 whatever. And she did just that, which is a smart move on her part, I guess. But Yelena stepping up and being like, we own you now. Period. Clocked. The end, Valentina. The end. Which, it's definitely not the end for Valentina, let's be so real. But she's good. Speaking of Mel, the character of Mel, great. Love her. Also, she's so me regarding Bucky. Like, she's so me. I kept seeing some stuff online, drawing the dots to, like, the comics. Mel, as in Songbird from the comics. Like, is that an Easter egg, or is that going to develop into something else? Like, it could have just been, like, a little Easter egg that Marvel was like, ha, look, whatever. Or it could be developing into something, like, bigger. Melissa Gold is the Songbird in the comics, and her name is Mel in the movie. Like, is that short for Melissa? Is that, like, the Easter egg thing? And she's also wearing a necklace that I'm pretty sure, like, calls back to Songbird. And the other thing that's, like, maybe not entirely connected, but I just sort of thought about was, like, they use this, like, debilitating, like, sound thing to dismantle ghost powers. Well, like, Songbird, that's, like, her type of power, is, like, using sound and things like that. So, you know, like, there's a connection. I don't know, but it's interesting. And then John Walker. Now, I despise you still, John Walker. I don't like John Walker, and I'm sorry. However, actor Wyatt Russell, you are phenomenal. You do such an incredible job making us dislike your character. Like, you really do play him so well, because I just can't with him. I can't. Here's the thing, though. I love to hate on him, though. Not Wyatt Russell. Absolutely not. Do not send hate to Wyatt Russell, because he is playing a character, okay? That was, like, a thing, I think, long ago. Like, don't separate actors and characters, people. But the character of John Walker absolutely infuriates me. But you love to hate John Walker, because here's the thing. He added so much to this movie. Without John Walker, it would not have had as much, like, disagreement and tension. You know, he really does a good job of adding in that tension, saying comments that you're like, what is happening? Like, what are you doing? And I think he does a good job, like, with the back and forth. And he does pull his weight. Like, he does do good on the team, you know? So I think he's a good character. He's just not a character I like, if that makes sense. But I don't think the film would have been as good without him. Do we all follow where I'm saying? Like, I think it's okay for us to have characters we don't like, but still recognize them as characters that are good for storylines. Do you know what I mean? It's just that John Walker is insufferable. But, like, sometimes he has a moment where he eats. Let's be so real. But he is insufferable. I do feel slightly bad for him because, you know, it's, like, revealed that, like, his wife left and took his kid. However, he did it to himself. Like, it's also revealed to that. And he's just terrible and awful. And he knows that he's done terrible and awful things. And thank you, shout out Yelena, for calling him on it and being like, sorry your wife and kid left you, but it's your fault and you know it. Like, he does know it because he was being a terrible husband and a terrible dad. Hello? Also, don't get me started. When he said on your left, I quite literally balled my fist up. I was like, let's go. Meet me in the parking lot. We're fighting. On your left is for Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson only. Okay? What are you doing trying to say that? Absolutely not. Get out of here with that. Boo. Boo. Anyways, I do need to bring something up really fast before we move on. I saw something online, and this just proves how gullible I can be. I saw something online where somebody said that Matt Pat, like Game Theory Matt Pat from YouTube, was in Thunderbolts and was like the guy in the intro that's tied up with the duct tape over his mouth that Yelena is like monologuing to. And they showed like a picture of the side profile, and I just saw that post, screenshot it, and then made a video about it on my personal TikTok, which go follow that if you want. It's at MackenzieP20. But it's not him. It's not Matt Pat. I made a whole video and was like, guys, the thing that's so crazy about it is because why I made the video so quickly is because it was either on the way to the theater or leaving the theater. But I was telling my friends that I saw the movie with about Matt Pat from Game Theory, because I was like, it's just a theory, a game theory. And the car went silent. And I was like, oh, so y'all don't know what I'm talking about. And I talked about it. And then I see this video that Matt Pat allegedly is in the movie. So I make a whole video about it. It's not him. Like, the comments were like, babe, it's not him. How dumb. This is a lesson for all of us to do your research, okay? Do your research before you believe things on the internet. Matt Pat, I really thought you were in it for a minute, and I was so excited for you. Moving on, we're going to talk about editing. So editing, I have like an 8 out of 10. The CGI is good in this. Like I said, I love how they do ghost powers. I love all the little effects that they use. The edits for the void and the shadows shook to my core. Crazy. They're so good. Also, the sound effect that went with the like people turning into the shadows into the void, so ominous and haunting. I loved it. It was so good. It really like hit me every single time it happened. I also really love the transitions between the different shame rooms in the void, which, going off of that, cinematography, the camera work between like the shame rooms in the void, of like the transitions between each and all of that, so good. Like, I love the way they did that. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And the action sequences were so good. I love the way all of the action sequences were filmed. It just, it's so good, y'all. It was so good. Now we need to talk about some specifics really quick. The scene with Alexei saving that little girl, absolutely precious. And then she turns into a shadow, got me good, girl. When I tell you, I was like, sat shaking in my boots. Did not expect that at all. It was crazy. Such a good twist. I also started freaking out. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but when Yelena went into the shadow, I was freaking out. But also, like, the whole movie, Alexei was talking to Yelena and kept talking about how, as a kid, she was just so bright and she would brighten up every room, and that, like, her brightness was dimming a little bit, but he saw it coming back when she was with the group and everything. I knew that when she was in the Shadow Realm, after I freaked out for a moment and thought she was dead, I knew that all of that was going to play into the whole, she's going to be this bright light in the dark void for Bob. And lo and behold, power of friendship. Speaking of Alexei and Yelena, anytime Nat was brought up, I was crying. Like, Alexei talking to Yelena, the like follow in her footsteps, stop. I can't. And Yelena being like, I lost her for good this time. We lost her for good. Nat is not coming back, and that is a hard truth, okay? That's a hard pill to swallow, because I miss Natasha every single day, okay? Also, glad to finally see who bought Avengers Tower. That has been teased for how long, you know what I mean? Of like who actually owns Avengers Tower, and lo and behold, it's Valentina for Ox or whatever, and it's like the Century building, which is also a callback to the comics. I learned the Century like tower base, whatever, is built on top of like Stark Tower / Avengers Tower in the comics. So like, thanks for the details, Marvel. Glad for that. But when I saw her go behind like Tony's bar, acting like she's Tony Stark, I wanted to throw hands. I was like, don't touch that. Is it different stuff? Yes. However, to me, that is Tony's. Okay? Leave him alone. Leave him out of this. And also, her little, like, there were so many little callbacks in this movie, first of all, that I was in my feels. But her saying how, like, to think about all the iconic fights that had happened in that building, so nostalgic. It really took me back, because I was like, okay, yeah, you have Avengers 2012, and then also like Endgame, whenever they go back in time to that building, it's just like, so it's home. I know my way around that place. Hello. Like, it's just, it was so nostalgic, and it really had me in my feels. Now we need to talk about the post-credit scene. First of all, both post-credits were good. I am thankful that we had two. I thought they were cute. I love when they do scenes like this. Obviously, I love scenes that tease, which there was a little bit of a tease in the second one, which we'll get to that in a minute. But like scenes where they're just so fun, like it was giving like the shawarma scene from the first Avengers movie. Love that. Alexei is just so funny. But the second post-credit scene really felt like they took their time with it, and I was really happy about it. And it was fun, cute, getting to see them. It was giving like Avengers Tower fanfic vibes, you know what I'm saying? All them sitting around and Bob being like, I did the dishes. Like, it was just so fun, and I loved that. And I loved seeing the Fantastic Four like coming into the MCU on the rocket. That was a really good tease, really good like introduction to that movie coming out later in July. Very well done. Not too much, just a little, there you go, guys. Like, just a little snack to munch on. I was just very thankful for that. It was really cool. I kind of felt like it was coming. Didn't know how they were going to do it, but I'm thankful that they did it and just showed the logo on the rocket. Really enjoyed that. But I want to dissect something with y'all. There's a comment that Bucky makes And we have to dive in because I'm worried, okay? So they're talking about, like, they were announced as the new Avengers. The Thunderbolts were announced as the new Avengers, which, first of all, I don't know how I feel about that. My fight or flight senses were triggered whenever that whole title screen happened, and then when they were referred to as that, I genuinely don't know how I feel about that title. But that's neither here nor there. Apparently, Sam Wilson, who is the leader of the Avengers, like Captain America is the leader of the Avengers, he's in a lawsuit either trying to sue them or something. I don't know. He's trying to get copyright of the Avengers name so that it doesn't get tarnished or something. I don't know why he's doing that, and I'm just curious to know why. I mean, I guess there's multiple reasons, and I can think of some, but I want to know what Sam's doing. But they're like, Bucky, talk to your friend, which, like, Bucky, talk to your friend Sam. Hello? And Bucky's like, I tried, but last time I spoke to him, it went badly, or, like, it went poorly or something. What do you mean it went poorly? What do you mean it was bad? Why are we on the rocks? Why are Sam and Bucky on the rocks right now? What is happening? I need more. Because we were just in Brave New World, and they hugged and they had a little moment, and it was sweet and precious and wholesome, and now we're on the rocks? What happened? What happened between Brave New World and Thunderbolts? What's going on? And someone needs to fill me in right now, and Sam and Bucky need to be okay, or else I'm going to freak out and lose it. I cannot go through another Marvel Civil War, okay? We can't. Look at me. We can't, okay? Sam and Bucky have to be okay because I will not survive a civil war between the two of them. Hello. No, we're not. They have to be okay. Anyways, so my overall rating, I'm going to have to give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. It was so good. Y'all, we are so back. I say that every time I go to the theater and watch a Marvel movie, just because I just love going to the theater, and I'm a huge Marvel fan, and seeing all my faves on the big screen and seeing how well the movie was executed. I'm so happy. I'm a happy gal over here. And I loved it. It really did feel kind of like old Marvel vibes, just a little bit. And that always makes me feel good. It really did have such a good mix of humor and action and story and emotion. It was just like well done. And of course, a found family trope. I mean, come on. I'm always a sucker for that. And I think they did a good job with that while still keeping each character's nuances and still sort of keeping that, like, frustrated aggravation with each other and still working together. It was just, I don't know, it was fun. I really liked it. And I think you should go see it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, Let's start a conversation. Let's talk about our characters, the future of Marvel, what we're thinking. How do you feel about Thunderbolts? Was it good to you? Let me know. I would love to hear your opinion. And that just about does it for today's episode. Pickle's pick of this week is Father You by Kasey Scott Worship. This is such a good worship song. It's one of my favorites. It's just so beautiful and emotional and very raw. And I love singing it to the Lord. It's very humbling. And sometimes it just is nice to sit there and just completely surrender. And it's such a good song when you're struggling, to go to. And like I said, it's just humbling, and it really does bring me to my feels. Love the song. I also want to say I have another Pickles pick, and it is Pela cases. Now, this is a phone case company from Canada, and it's made out of, like, recycled materials, and it's really cool, y'all. So I got sent 3 cases. Shout out Pela. Thank you so much. I have 3 cases, and this one is my favorite. I've got it on my phone right now, and it's blue, and it has pickle jars. Guys, this is perfect for me. I was like, this is What's the Dill written all over it. Hello? So I do want to shout it out. It feels good on my phone. It fits my phone perfectly, and yeah, I really love it. I'm excited to try out the other 2, switch them in and out. And yeah, I just wanted to shout that out really fast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Season 3, y'all. I am so pumped. We have a lot of cool new films and projects coming out that I am so excited for. And might have a little something. Maybe even our first guest ever on the podcast. Who knows? Stick around to find out. I just want to say thank you again for all the support and the love. We have a mighty little community here, and I love you all so much, and I'm excited to grow even more and for us to grow together and to continue this little family we got going on. So y'all, please, please, please like this podcast, leave a comment, download the podcast, review it, follow on all the socials, and share this podcast with your family and friends. Share on your social media, share it everywhere. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next week. And with that, it is time to close the jar. Bye, loves! Mwah!